This is a meeting of the Township Committee, December 15, 2014. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press, the Star Ledger, the Independent, and the Cougar Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building, and filing with the Township Clerk on January 10, 2014. Committeeman Fiore. Committeeman Massell.
Here.
Committeeman Scharfenberger.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Here.
Mayor Murray. Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence in memory of Deputy Chief Craig Bars Jr. and EMS Marcus Sagnor. Thank you. At this time, we start the evening moving an item from our consent agenda, the public hearing on the Comcast cable television franchise application.
Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to the Comcast cable franchise application? I see a lot of firemen. Seeing, yes?
Mayor, I have 50 minutes, so I will be brief. My name is Rob Clifton. I'm the Senior Director of Government Affairs for Comcast Cable. I just have a brief statement, and then I'll take any questions you can. We are currently at the end of a 3-year federally mandated process. The current certificate of approval has expired. The certificate of approval is a document that a cable company needs in order to operate a cable television system here in New Jersey. It does not cover internet or phone service. The Board of Public Utilities will issue it after municipal consent, and our application have been reviewed for compliance with state and federal requirements. Upon the close of the public hearing tonight, the town will issue a consent ordinance for a resolution of denial. If the consent is granted, Comcast will then have 30 days to file with the state of New Jersey for a renewal. The consent ordinance that we are seeking is a simple right-of-way. It does not contract. It's not a contract that obligates the town to do anything except to allow us to run our plants along municipal rights-of-way, which we currently do. It is non-exclusive, meaning that any other cable provider can come in at any time and seek the same rights to offer service. The governing body, however, under state and federal law, must judge our application on the following 4 criteria. Has the cable operator substantially complied with the material terms of the existing agreement? Has the operator's service been reasonable in light of community needs? Does the operator have the financial, legal, and technical ability to provide the services? And is the renewal proposal reasonable to meet the future cable-related needs and interests of the community? There are 2 areas that the governing body may not consider in deciding whether to renew or deny the application. Rates. They are governed by state and federal statute and are outside their purview. And programming. The cable operator's channel lineup is protected under the First Amendment, just as newspaper content is. And that's all I have, Mayor, and I'll leave it up to any member of the governing body.
Any other questions? Anybody from the public? Yes, Mr. Watson.
Hello, my name is Don Watson. I live at 1 Collinson Drive in New Monmouth. And I'd like to know when the old contract expired.
It expired on August 3rd, 2014 of this year.
And what was the reason for letting it expire?
We've just been discussing with the town timetable to sit down for formal negotiation. The Board of Public Utilities is fine with an expired agreement, just as long as both the municipality and the cable operator have been talking. I've been in contact with the municipal council. So it's just not a fact that we ignored. It was just scheduling conflicts between both of us to sit down and actually finalize an agreement.
So are we going to, or is Comcast going to honor that old contract?
Yes, we
For any portion of it?
absolutely currently do.
And
Everything that's in the existing agreement is in effect until a new agreement supersedes it. So even if it expires, we are still obligated under the terms of the current agreement.
because there wasn't a portion of the,
Nathan, just direct them this way.
excuse me?
If you don't mind, would you just direct them this way?
Oh, I
I'm
thought you were
sorry.
answering the question, so I figured I would address them to him. Did you want to say something, Mr. Nelson?
No, I was telling the mayor that all questions should be directed through her as the chair of the meeting. You can't have just a back and forth, because then the record, Mr. Watson,
Yes.
just, not a big deal. Just, you know the procedure.
Sure.
Just direct it through the mayor. You'll get all your questions answered, but we just need to have a clear record, okay? So, just direct them through the mayor.
Okay. No big deal. There is a clause in the current contract where Comcast was to provide TV broadcast facilities to the township so they could broadcast different shows and things, public service shows. So I was wondering if Comcast was still going to honor that portion of the agreement.
Honoring a portion of the agreement.
The agreement allows or calls for Comcast providing a television channel, which we currently do, which is TV 20, which I believe is run out of high school. So as far as, and we also have a public access channel, which is channel 97, which anyone in the municipality can avail themselves. So we do have those facilities available.
And I was wondering if Comcast is going to make available a $200,000 grant to provide recording equipment and instruction on how to use it to the general public.
The grant was paid for back when the franchise was renewed, which was back in, I believe, 2000. So that money was provided back then. I don't know the exact date, but the $200,000 was provided within 1 year of the state of New Jersey giving us approval to operate the system.
And does anybody on the dais know what that money was used for?
Still in college.
Did it go to the general fund? Does anybody know? Yeah, I've asked that question 2 years ago, so never got an answer. I figured maybe now that it's come up, we could be a little more knowledgeable about the situation.
We'll look into that.
When do I expect to get a response to it?
We'll look into it.
Okay. No timetable still.
No timetable. I'm sorry.
Those be something, just be yourself.
And myself.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Are there any other members of the public wishing to make a public comment? Seeing no other members of the public wishing to make a comment, I move to close public portion.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the governing body.
Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Sharpburger.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino. Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to close public hearing on Comcast franchise application. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a life-saving award for firefighter rescue of man during fire. At this time, I'd like to invite Chief Lehman, please come forward.
going to turn it over to the chief first, so he can tell us a little bit about what happened.
I'm just going to read you a brief description of the events. Approximately 2:30 p.m. on Friday, November 14th, Middletown Township Fire Department was dispatched to a report of a smoke condition in the area of the Mud Flats in the Leonardo section of the township. First to arrive on the scene was Fire Inspector Art Ravel, who immediately alerted dispatch via radio that there was a fully involved structure fire at 500 Ocean Boulevard with the traffic. Ex-Chief Andy Spears arrived and assumed command of the incident and requested the dispatch of additional fire companies. While performing a 360-degree survey of the exterior of the 2.5-story single-family residential structure, Chief Spears heard a voice calling out for help from inside of the burning building. Unable to enter the house due to the heavy fire and smoke conditions, Chief Spears called to the victim to crawl to the rear door. The victim was unable to make his way through thick smoke, which extended to about 6 inches above the floor, and retreated away from the main body of fire to a first-floor bedroom. Repeated attempts to communicate with the victim were unsuccessful. Engine 143 from the community fire deployed a 2.5-inch hand line and began to attack the fire. Local residents assisted the firefighters with connecting a 5-inch supply line to a hydrant 100 feet away. The second crew from the community fire company, led by ex-captain Jack Houston, immediately began attempts to enter the building. The rescue team was unable to enter the front or rear doors due to extremely heavy fire conditions. After observing the victim through a side window, ex-captain John Waltz and firefighter Christian Burbank deployed a ladder and followed ex-captain Houston through the window and into the burning building. Members of the Belford Engine Fire Company, led by ex-chief Michael Chenoweth, arrived on scene and immediately made contact with the rescue team that had located the unconscious victim. With the assistance of firefighters Matt Dykeman and Jim Phillips, ex-chief Chenoweth coordinated with the rescue team to extract the victim through the window. The Belford engine crew immediately administered first aid to the victim until he was transferred to the emergency medical team. Ex-captain Houston's team completed a search of the interior room and exited the building. Fearing a catastrophic collapse of the fully engulfed building, Chief Lyman ordered all firefighters from the structure and directed an exterior attack of the fire. Approximately 75 firefighters from 7 companies of the Middletown Township Fire Department, Community, Brevent Park, Belford Engine, Navasink, Belford Independent, and Port Monmouth, under the command of myself, responded to the scene. As a result, we are here tonight to recognize the valor exhibited by ex-captain Houston, ex-captain Walsh, and firefighter Burbank in their extraordinary efforts to rescue the victim. I would also like to commend ex-chief Chenoweth, firefighter Matt Dykeman, and firefighter James Phillips for their skills and professionalism in assisting with the prompt removal of the victim from the burning house.
So just a round of applause for these guys. Not just this evening, which was an exceptional, I heard all about it, and but just every day and all the time, and we are certainly very appreciative of it. So just going to give you the reward. Thanks again, and I sleep better knowing that these guys are around. Okay, so this is for John Waltz.
Y'all need to come together, make friends. Right leg, Everybody's got to turn the Indians the right way. Yourselves will be good too. Ma'am, your paper. I know. Thank you so much. Pretty good? Because they're getting tired of smiling, I know, but you can't do it. Yay!
proclamation recognizing Jim Davis for outstanding community service. I'd like to invite Jim Davis to please come forward.
This guy, be careful with this guy.
So tonight we're recognizing Jim Davis for his tremendous service, and one of my favorite things is he's actually donated all labor and works for the time. J.C. Murray of the Middletown Township Committee do hereby wish to take this opportunity on December 15, 2014 to offer our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Davis and his valuable service to the community. We are honored and privileged that we should be
We have to post it.
We have to take a picture.
This is great, it's just so we already set it up. One, two. Thank you.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a proclamation commending Township Planner Jason Greenspan. If you'd like, please come forward.
Jason, thank you guys for sitting down. Before you do, just want to say a couple things. Jason Greenspan. Jason's our planner, planning and development department director. Whereas Jason Greenspan joined Middletown Township staff as senior planner in 2003. He was named director of community development in 2006, then the director of the Township's planning and development department in 2008. And whereas Middletown has been very fortunate to have someone of Jason Greenspan's caliber on the Township's management team. In addition to deftly handling day-to-day responsibilities, Jason has spearheaded numerous projects and programs that make Middletown a beautiful, sustainable place to live down. He is also responsible for bringing millions of dollars in grant funding to the Township homeowners. And whereas the Mayor of Middletown Township Committee wish to take this opportunity to offer our heartfelt thanks to the Community Development Director, Jason Greenspan, for his dedication to public service and his noteworthy contributions to Middletown Township. Now be it proclaimed on Monday, December 15, 2014, that I, Mayor Stephanie Murray, of the Middletown Township Committee, do hereby commend Planning and Development Director Jason Greenspan for substantial contributions to the betterment of Middletown Township. On behalf of Middletown's employees and residents, which you guys have done today.
Yeah, I'd just like to say a few things because these are bittersweet times because you're happy for somebody to get a great opportunity like this, but you're also sad to lose somebody who you've been friends with and close with for a long time. I like to think over the years I've made mostly good decisions. I'm sure I made a few bad ones too, but one of the best decisions I ever made was to hire Jason in 2003. It was great because he kind of hit the ground running. He needed very little help from me. It was a great feeling when I was the planning director to know that Jason was there. If I was out, if I had to go somewhere, I didn't worry for a moment that things wouldn't be handled properly. So then when I was fortunate enough to be made appointed Township Administrator in 2008, it was also great because I didn't really have to worry about it. I knew what was going to happen. I knew Jason would slip right into the director position and handle it perfectly, and he has. The job of Planning and Community Development Director is a difficult one. The Township Committee will tell you that some of the most difficult and controversial things we deal with over the years are development applications, right? You read about them all the time, you hear about them all the time. They're very difficult to deal with. They're very emotional. You have to have a thick skin. You have to have a strong backbone. Jason has those things. And you have to learn how to deal with things properly, professionally. And one thing you have to do is be ultimately ethical and beyond reproach at all times. And never had to be concerned about that for a moment with Jason. But it's great. And I will tell you also that having worked in Southern California myself, I'm very familiar with the agency he's going to. I'm very familiar with them, and they're a very prestigious agency. And they don't take lightly hiring somebody from 3,000 miles away to take a very, very prestigious position with them. They wouldn't have done it if you didn't have a super qualified person. And I'd like to think we contributed to some degree of him becoming as qualified and skillful as he is. But best of luck to Jason. We're going to miss him for sure. We've got big shoes to fill now. And but I'm sure he'll be a better person for it in the long run. So I wish him good luck.
Say something. I want to thank the Township Committee for being able to provide service for the past 11 years. I hope I've been able to provide a service to the residents of Middletown. Such a baby. And after about 175 planning board meetings, not that I've counted, 75 zoning board meetings, and a number of Township Committee meetings, I certainly cut my teeth in Middletown. And I hope that some of the things that I've done will be benefiting everybody here for years to come. So thank you.
One last vote on committee, please. Thank you.
Jason said that she's not going to be a full anymore.
If that's true, this is going to go now.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a representation of the 2014 Scanned Leaders of Distinction in the Field of Aging Award to Senior Center Supervisor Patrice Nugent. If you'd like to please come forward, and our Recreation Director, Janet Deli.
So Patrice thought she was going to skate by when she accidentally let it slip at the senior center that she had won this prestigious award. So we couldn't help but bring her in here and represent it. We'll be entered into our own town record. And I just want to give this to Janet. Maybe you want to say a little something about the award?
Absolutely. So back in October, Patrice was invited to this luncheon. I unfortunately couldn't attend it at the time. She came back the next day into my office and let me know, it was such a wonderful, much bigger luncheon than she actually anticipated. There were, I guess, 4 or 5 municipalities, the senior center directors were awarded for the same award. Patrice has been with us for 11 years. In August, has been working in the senior field for over 30 years, so she's got quite the ample experience from the day-to-day operations of our senior center, dealing with the senior advisory council, planning different lunches, making sure that the transportation is set ready to go for all their trips. She has quite a bit of stories that she will be happy to share with her adventures with the seniors, but she's been a fantastic senior center supervisor for us these past 11 years, and hopefully we've got quite a few more out of her too. So congratulations.
And I will say, anybody that's ever visited the senior center, it's always such a happy, lively place, and you go there and you feel good. And there's a reason for that. It's well run, it's very well run, and people enjoy being there, and that's largely thanks to you. So we appreciate that. It means a lot.
It's done now.
All right.
We're so close.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. I just want to say that I was very surprised to receive this award, but I was very proud when we have myself and the center, because I feel that it really reflects very well on how good a job we do to provide services for the seniors here in Middletown. And of course, we couldn't do it without the support of the administration, committee, the mayor, and everyone that's so wonderful to us. So thank you all for being so supportive. And I want to thank
Janet, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me get it.
item on tonight's agenda, we have public hearing of proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2014-3121, an ordinance amending salary ordinance for non-union employees.
Is there anyone wishing to speak to 2014-3121? Seeing no members of the public wishing to speak to 2014-3121, I move to close public portion.
Second.
Committeeman Massell.
Abstain.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have ordinance for proposed public hearing, 2014-3122, the 2015 ordinance amending dogs and cat license fees.
Is there anyone wishing to speak to 2014-3122? Mr. Watson.
Good evening, my name is Bob Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive in New Monmouth, and I was wondering why these fees are going up 25%. Can somebody explain that to me?
Well, yes, I mean, we've looked at the fees and the costs. The cost, for example, to dispose of animals has gone up almost 100% when it comes to bringing dogs and cats to the SPCA or the facilities. So it's really just to try to keep up with the increasing costs of where we take animals when they're caught by animal control. They've increased significantly, much more than this percentage increase in fees. So it's really just to help kind of keep up with our increased costs.
So the pet owners in Middletown have to pay for disposing of unwanted pets.
Yes.
This is after we just raised the fees 2 years ago, 6.5%.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just providing a little feedback that not too many people are happy about this around town, and a lot of them are reconsidering and renewing their pet licenses.
Well, if they have pets, then they need to renew their pet licenses. If they don't, they'll pay even more when they get fined. So, I mean, the reality is
You have to find out that they really still have their pets.
right, we do. We don't like it, the neighbors call and tell us. So that's what happens. So it's kind of a silly argument to suggest that people will just not renew their pet licenses. The fact of the matter is, talk to the SPCA and ask them why they've increased their fees 100% to take animals there. And see what they come back with as an answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are there any other members of the public who are wishing to speak to 2014-3122? Seeing no other members of the public wishing to speak to 2014-3122, I move to close the public hearing and adopt.
Committeeman Massell.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have the consent agenda, which would include resolutions 14-296 through 14-320, which was the registrar's appointment.
Second.
Committeeman Massell.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the consent agenda. This time we have Township Committee comments. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Chief. At this time, we have Resolution 14-295, resolution authorizing payment of bills for December 15, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Massell.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this resolution. 14-295.
Your Township Committee comments? Committee Estelle?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. I was at a few events over the past couple of weeks, one of which was the anniversary, 73rd anniversary of Pearl Harbor. I went to the event at the VFW, and it was just an incredibly moving event. It's such an honor to be among these folks, men in service, and I brought my two sons there who were 11, and it was just an incredibly moving event for them as well, and we just have to remember these events. Second thing, another incredibly moving, I was at the funeral of Deputy Chief Craig Bars on Saturday, and I just have to say that it was a very, very moving event, and he was a great man and a great father, and I knew him personally and professionally, and I can't say enough about him. A little bit lighter note, also went to the tree lighting, the Christmas tree lighting at the Arts Center, and it was a phenomenal turnout as usual. I think we may have had the best year yet, Mayor. And I'm again honored to be in the town where we have a Christmas tree lighting and not a holiday tree lighting. So thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Thanks. Dr. Scharfenberger?
Okay, thank you. A couple of things. I had the pleasure of going to a new business opening in Campbell's Junction, and it seems like every week or so we are getting new smaller businesses coming in, which is a good thing. It really is a good sign to see that there is some activity in some of the vacant storefronts that we have around town, and it's really a phenomenon that's statewide, not just Middletown. So it is good to see these small businesses coming in, which is a glimmer of hope that maybe things at the ground level are starting to turn around a little bit. So we all wish them a lot of luck. And every time I think any one of us goes to a ribbon cutting or a proclamation for one of the new businesses, we always make a point of telling them that we have a program in Middletown called Buy Middletown. And we really encourage people here to frequent the small businesses in town. It's really the backbone of the national economy, and we want to do our part. And it's a free service where they can register their business, and people can look on the website if they need a hair cutter or an auto repair shop or whatever, if they want to stay in town and they're listed. So it is really a great thing. We really want to do everything we can to help these small businesses. I also went to the VFW event that Committee Member Sell was mentioning, and 73 years, it was also on December 7th. So it was a little bit prophetic that it was the anniversary was on December 7th on a Sunday morning. And to see some of the World War II vets who are really getting up in years, and they're unsteady and a little bit shaky, but they're probably the strongest people you'll ever meet. And when you think of what they've gone through and the sacrifice that they made, so it really just sends chills down your spine to be in their presence. It was a great ceremony, and the VFW in this town is, bar none, one of the best in the state, I think. They really do a great job of reminding us of everything that the vets have done for us and all these great milestones in our military history. The Christmas tree lighting also at the Arts Center was great. There's a tuba concert, there's choirs, it's just fantastic. It's really that small town Christmas celebration, and everybody absolutely loves it, the kids. It's magical, and it really was a great time for all. And I went to the second Christmas tree lighting up in Ideal Beach. It was the first annual Ideal Beach Christmas lighting, and that was yesterday. It was really a very nice, fun, interesting ceremony, and I think it's going to be one of those events that's going to grow year after year as the word gets out. But it was a great time, and it was really nice to see everybody gathered there, in that special part of town. We have gone to, and I know the mayor, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but the fire chiefs elected their new, the fire department elected their new fire chief last week. We went to the ceremony, and it's great. And I just mentioned to some of the fellas there, what a great time we had. It really is always a great ceremony, a lot of laughs. But it just goes to show how serious this town is when it comes to the volunteer fire department, how important they are, the emotion that goes into it is tremendous, and every day I think we should thank God that we have these brave men and women who step up in such a great way for us and the service they do. And we saw it here, where we celebrated saving of a man's life in quite a serious fire. So just really make you feel good to be among them. Just a couple new other things here. The North-South hockey game, the mayor and I guess the man, he already attended, sold out, packed to the rafters. And on that note, Craig Barr's son, and I don't know, you gonna tell the story, Mayor?
Go for it.
Okay, Craig Barr's son, and the deputy chief who passed away, is a freshman on the South hockey team. He scored a goal the day after his father's passing, first goal of his career. So I think Deputy Chief Barrs is down there looking down with pride. It really was a great ending to an otherwise sad week. And just one quick thing about Craig Barrs. I've known him since I've been on the committee, over 10 years, and I've never seen him in a bad mood, even during the toughest days he's had. He really set an example for the rest of us, and I genuinely felt terrible to hear of his passing. He was a great family man, and a great police officer, and a great credit to this town, and he will be sorely missed. A lot of emotion at his memorial service, and just say a prayer for Craig Barrs and his family. And with this, you may have noticed a faith-based initiative that was part of the resolution that we passed. I'm really excited about this. And it's sort of a way to just give a quick explanation of it, of a way to get services out of government and into private hands to the folks who really do these best. And that's faith-based or charitable organizations. And since the beginning of our history, they've really been the ones who carried the ball as far as providing these services. Little by little, government sort of took that over, and we all know what a disaster that could be. So this is our way of providing services and increasing services for residents without any cost to the taxpayer. So we're very excited about the prospect of what this will do, and we look for great things to come from it. The other thing I just want to say is Happy Hanukkah for those of you who celebrate, and a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because this will be the last meeting of 2014. And please, everybody, keep in your prayers the victims of yet another terrorist attack in Australia. Daily we read about this, and something's got to give. And with that, thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Schreckenberger. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. A few items this evening. Number one, with regard to our planner, Jason Greenspan. Now, you're still back there, Jason, right? Okay. And I saw you had your coat on tonight. I didn't know if you were running to the airport tonight. But, as a member of the previous member of the zoning board and a current member of the planning board, I had the privilege of seeing Jason multiple times a month. And I have to tell you, the service that he provides to the planning board and the zoning board and the township committee is second to none. So Jason, I want to personally thank you for your service to the town for the few years that I've been here on the committee, and I've been able to see you in action at the planning board and zoning board level. So that's been great. Every time I had a question on the planning board, we were able to ask it, and you were able to provide those answers pretty quickly, pretty immediately, with great guidance to the board to make what I feel have been some good decisions with some good guidance. So personally, thank you for all your help, and I wish you the best moving forward to your new job. And you won't need your coat there.
That's right.
So the second item is the Christmas tree lighting, or the tree lighting. Although I'd like to say that I went because I'd like to see the tree lit up, I went because my 3-year-old twins wouldn't let me not go. So they watched Santa as he got off the fire engine, and they waited on the line, and that was great for them. So for the town to continue to do this is fantastic, and it was just a great event. And I want to personally thank the mayor that I was able to provide my kids with sugar before they eat dinner, so that helped them. But it was a great event. So we look forward to that every year. And lastly, I'd like to extend a wish of a Merry Christmas and a great New Year to everyone. As the Dr. Sharper mentioned, this is our last meeting of the year. So, Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mayor, I forgot to wish Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That was the last meeting, sorry.
Good.
Good night.
Not to talk about the same things over and over again, the tree lighting was pretty awesome, but I'm going to leave it at that because I think you guys have explained it, and you know, we really appreciate that every year, and every year it gets better and better, so that's a great thing. I did want to mention, it has been a particularly sad week with the passing of Deputy Chief Barrs 2 weeks ago. Every time I had ever seen him, he was always in a great mood, like he was saying, he was always positive. Right up until the end, he was engaged. I had brought a brownie troop into dispatch, and he was really great with them, talking to them, explaining things to them, and it was good to see him like that. So, very, very sad. And the other person I'd like to mention is Marcus Sagamore, who was a friend of mine. He was the he was the chief engineer of Port Monmouth EMS, 39, too young to go. He leaves behind a 3-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. Just a fantastic guy, a real go-getter. He was a big volunteer during Sandy in the streets and helping everybody. He also was a member of the volunteer corps from the very, very beginning. And he and the guys were tasked with creating a plan for harnessing all the volunteers that we have coming in, residential volunteers. And he did a really fantastic job at that. And I really hope both Craig and Marcus, and I do believe that they found peace. So my condolences to their family, and they will both certainly be in my thoughts. And they will not be forgotten. On a lighter note, I did also attend the fire chief election, and that was a fantastic night, and I'm looking forward to next year and working with you guys again. And I have to say, Chief Pete, it's been a total honor working with you. You were fantastic. I'm glad we're finally getting the radio done. That's a big night for us tonight. So that's something, just tremendous work we've done this year with everybody and with you at the helm. So I'd like to thank you for that too. And the only other thing I'm going to mention is the food pantry. That we've had undertaken this huge effort trying to replenish the food pantry. It's been going very well. We've had about, Cindy, about 1,000 pounds so far? We have this ambitious goal of a ton of food, which is 2,000 pounds. But we are over 1,000. There are businesses collecting, and we are collecting in various places in town hall. So if you guys know of anybody who could just spread the word to continue to donate, there are several places around town and several businesses. You can find them on the website. Just keep your hearts open. And again, thank you for the generosity. All right, ShopRite, did they do?
They agreed to. Yeah.
Right, ShopRite did also agree to give us some food, which is just fantastic. So I think we'll probably reach our ambitious ton of food goal. So that's something to look forward to also. And I have to say, everybody is so generous, and I am really, really honored to live in this community, especially at this time of year. You really start to look back and appreciate the things that have happened this year, and I could smile about it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Wish everybody happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and open up to public portion. So, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Yes, Ms. Bound.
Hi, Ms. Brown, my teammate Court. And I just want to say I was very sorry to hear about the passing of Deputy Chief Barris. I had the pleasure of meeting, and it was 2.5 or 3 years ago. It was Police Week, and lots of kids were here. I was taking some photos, which often I do when I attend events for some of the local papers. They have a lack of staff to send to things. So right around the time a bunch of kids were outside jumping around in one of the police cars, Deputy Chief Barris and Deputy Chief Weber, at the time, Deputy Chief Weber, walked up, and they were, as you mentioned, they were both in a great mood and good humor, and were very tolerant of the photos. So it's a pleasure meeting them. I'm very sorry to hear about his passing. A couple quick questions. One is about the executive session resolution on tonight's agenda. On item 4, under litigation or potential litigation, it says licensed establishment ordinance matter. Can you provide a little bit more detail about that? That's pretty vague.
Sure. There was a ordinance that relates to the distances by which liquor licensees can be. That was the subject of prior litigation, and that's what it relates to.
Liquor license?
It's the distance between liquor license establishments, yes.
Okay, can you name the potential litigants you're able to, no, you can't?
No, I can't do that right now.
One of the other things I'm seeing a lot of that was in tonight's, a lot of the documents for tonight is mention of, and forgive me, I missed the last meeting, so maybe it's discussed there. For example, it talks about significant changes to the town's self-insured health benefits plan structure or entering into the state health benefits plan for 2015. Can you talk about that? I'm not sure if there's an formal announcement or it's just in these documents.
Yeah, the township is looking at the possibility of entering into the state health benefits plan as a part of ongoing negotiations with various bargaining units and other employees. No decision's been made about that, but it's something we're looking into as opposed to remaining self-insured.
If the decision was made to do that, would it be town-wide or would it be on a per-contract basis or would it be an option?
It would be town-wide. If ultimately the decision was to join the state health benefits plan, it would be for all employees.
Okay. I did notice, as you know, I've done some work on the costs for this year, and there was a very big jump in 2014. And I think for us it was a 28% jump this year. The state health benefits plan costs went up only about 8%. And they're also out with their 2015 numbers, which only went up about 8%. Now, it sounds like a lot, but that's standard, medical inflation. Just so you know, they're kind of holding. One other quick comment, and I brought this up at the last meeting. I previously asked for some executive session minutes. And one in particular from May 5th, 2014, there was on that agenda third-party administrator contracts, supposedly negotiations. Some of the discussion was redacted from those minutes. And I previously asked about this. It seemed to me that it wasn't really regarding negotiation, but rather had more to do with the discussion of claims experience, such that it should not have been redacted. But the reason given for redaction, to go back, was ongoing contractual negotiations. So it seems to me, now, at this meeting, a representative for this particular vendor was at the meeting and was presenting. So I'm wondering what, there doesn't seem to be a reason for redaction. There's not a negotiating position that needs to be protected because both parties were actually at this meeting. So the only people that are being kept in the dark about what was being discussed is the public. We're not a party to the contract. So why is there a need to redact?
Because their contract expired, and there were contract negotiations between the parties, and the governing body had questions about the way in which they administered the contract. And the reason why those minutes are now released is that went out to RFP, as you can see on the township website. So the township determined not to renew that contract in the manner in which it had done in prior years. And that's why you have those executive session minutes now. And the township can call individual vendors, answering your question. And the township can call in individual vendors to have discussions in the manner in which a contract is administrated to negotiate new terms to that contract. If the governing body wants to have that discussion, they can bring that person in, say, why do you do X, Y, and Z, or we want better terms or a better price for X, Y, and Z, and then kick that person out of the room and then have a discussion amongst themselves as to whether or not they want to renew on those terms or propose different terms and so forth. Just in the same manner that the township negotiates with collective bargaining agreements, where the township administrative officials and council sit at the table with union officials. That's not a public meeting.
I thought maybe because the time is running. I just wanted to ask a question. I didn't realize this was put out. You said it was put out to RFP?
Yes.
Okay, so does that mean that the minutes I'm looking at, I guess I got about a month ago, does that mean that this section that was redacted was unredacted, would be unredacted now?
I believe so. Yeah, I thought that was.
It was emailed to you.
Okay.
But that was released to you, yeah.
And I'm a little behind on reviewing what I received. Thank you.
You have a lot of requests, so.
Well, a few, yeah. Sometimes when they don't get something, I have to ask for something else or some other way to find them information. So yeah, I do a lot of research. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's a good thing.
And we do our best to accommodate.
No, you do. You do an excellent job, Heidi, and the rest of the persons in the clerk's office are really responsive, and I appreciate it. Okay, I guess that's about it for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public wishing to make a public remark? Yes, Mr. Watson.
Good evening, my name is Don Watson from 1 Collinson Drive, New Monmouth. Did I hear Heidi correctly before when she said the resolutions went up to 320?
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't on the agenda. And I'm happy to see a lot more activity taking place down at Ideal Beach. Hopefully someday the town can start doing some more firework displays like we used to years ago. That would be a great thing since we do have a beach down there again. And that would be a good venue for it.
We'd like to get some fireworks again next year. I'm not sure where or when or how, but
Right.
we're hopeful.
Cool, very good. Also, I was wondering if there was any update on the refurbishment of Town Hall here, for the design for the new Town Hall, refurbishing the police station, or whatever your plans are. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, we have made progress. We've actually, the architect was here last week, meeting with the police department. Of course, we have a new chief now, so the new chief needs to be brought up to speed as to some of the details about in particular, the police department, which is the most complicated part of the project. But we're now moving into the next phase of laying out actual office space and designing floor plans. Up to this point, we were just at large bulk level. Now we're getting to more detail of actual floor plans.
Are there plans available for the public to see?
No. No, not
There's no plans available right now?
No.
Okay, I'm glad to see that we're finally making some progress on that. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Are there any other members of the public wishing to make a public remark? Seeing no other members of the public wishing to make a remark, I will move to close public portion and adjourn.
Committeeman Massad.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpberg.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.